Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Let's go. Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Protect.
Yo, peace.
Protect your energy.
Hey, if y'all just joining, take a quick second, hit the subscribe button. Don't take long. Go ahead and hit subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribers up. If you're not following us on IG, follow us on IG. We're going to try and get our content up on there as well. We got new merch as well. If you haven't noticed, go check out the website.
For sure.
See if you like something over there at zentrappers.com and grab you something. How you feel about CP3 to the Warriors?
I didn't like it. I thought it was dumb.
For the Warriors?
Yeah. I'm not saying he not. I mean, is CP3 coming off the bench?
I don't know. Jordan Poole not there.
Yeah, I know. So he will be coming off the bench. Jordan Poole came off the bench.
Yeah, I guess so.
I just don't like it. I feel like they gave up too much. Jordan Poole was, I mean, he getting better. Like, he young. He gonna bring a spark of energy.
Yeah, they need another piece. They need another piece.
And it was, to me, it wasn't a guard. That's how I feel.
Okay.
I wanted Wiseman to stay. Yeah, Golden State. But whatever. Is Jordan Poole going to the Suns?
Mm-mm.
He going to the Wizards. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Who the Suns getting out of that?
Who did the Suns get? I don't know if they gave away picks or something.
They got Bradley Beal, right?
They got Bradley Beal for Wizards.
All right. The Bradley Beal move, that's just crazy. KD is just, it's wild how much talent he's played with. But I mean, how you feel about it? How you feel about the trades right now?
I'm just waiting for them all to play out. I'm indifferent on the CP3 trade. Like you said, I don't know if it's a good one, but if they get some other pieces, maybe. They need another piece, for sure.
They need another piece.
And
if Draymond leave, that's going to be tough.
And Steph on the court at the same time, I just feel like that's mismatches
Yes.
defensively.
Yes, absolutely. As well as if they lose Draymond, they are going to need somebody like CP3 to kind of like, yeah. But
The motivation.
I don't think he's in the right, he don't play the right position to be that person. They need somebody else. So, we'll see.
Welcome back for another ZTC, Zen Trap Chat. Month of July already here, so new month, new topic. Years just flying by. So the topic for this month is, I think, very important, very timely.
Boundaries.
We're talking about boundaries this month. Again, at the Zen Trap Podcast, our mission is to inspire and empower people to continuously seek their
Internal peace.
internal peace to maximize their personal potential.
For sure.
Be crip walking all over that. So let's just start off. What do you know about boundaries? What does boundaries mean to you?
All right, boundaries to me, it just means the things that you have in place. The dang, what's a good word for that?
Priorities, values.
To me, it's almost like barriers. The barriers that you have in place to protect what's important to you. And sometimes you open those barriers for certain people on certain days for certain reasons, and sometimes you don't. And you close them off to certain people for certain reasons on certain days. And I think that's up to you to do, to know how you can protect your energy and your peace. What about you? What do boundaries mean to you?
Boundaries to me are, if you're talking about filling your cup, it's how you protect your cup from spilling.
Ooh.
It's how you protect your cup from somebody knocking out whatever energy or whatever's in your cup. So that's what boundaries are to me. And the systems that you put in place to, again, protect your cup. It could be...
What's in my cup? It's in my cup.
Very direct things. It could be passive. It's up to you. But I think it's healthy ways to set up those boundaries as well. I think we mentioned one time, or I mentioned on another Zen Trap Chat, just that some people's boundaries can be toxic. Like, you can have toxic boundaries and how you establish them. You could ghost people or give them the silent treatment and feel that that's a boundary. That's fine, but I think unwarranted, and by unwarranted, doing it without notice or no communication, and this is supposed to be somebody you care about, and even
that's
if
tough.
it's a stranger.
So do you
tough
feel like
to-
you are obligated to communicate your boundaries?
Obligated? No, you can do whatever you want.
Well, do you feel like it's more? I guess what I mean by are you obligated? You're not obligated, but I guess you're saying your boundaries is a courtesy to communicate your boundaries.
I think that's healthy to
That's
communicate your boundaries. You can do things passively, and that's your personality. Fine. I think even in some of the passive ways you do it, you just want to make sure or try to make sure that your intentions are going good. I think you can intentionally do some things that harm people as well, like ghosting, being given the silent treatment, or not communicating your boundaries and just upholding boundaries, not giving people a chance to respect your boundaries. You just go immediately to the end of it, which is protecting yourself at all costs. No, I'm not doing, like, I wouldn't want your boundaries to come out of the blue to people that you care about. Now, if these are strangers, I think it's it's kind of up to you how you protect your boundaries. There, I ain't gonna say limits to that, but it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not limits to it. You could just do it to the extent that it could, again, just hurt people's feelings or interactions, or be to your own detriment. Like, it could get, like, not a good vibe from you because of how strong you are on your boundaries, which you have no control over too. I know that. So
I think ultimately when you set boundaries as a trauma response,
as a trauma response to something that you no longer need that trauma for.
Exactly.
As well sometimes. Yeah. That's a good one too. Yeah. Like when you coming from a certain environment, those boundaries helped you survive that environment, keep you.
Yeah. At that time.
Yeah. So
at that time, that's why.
How do you know when to reassess those? Like, how do you know when it's time to reassess my boundaries, or even if it's a trauma response?
Well, I think that all goes into you understanding and confirming what brings you joy, what brings you peace, and what brings your energy down, and the opposite of that. So,
you got an example?
I would say, people who were raised in survival, right? You raised not in a place of love, but like, I gotta survive, so I need to do everything I gotta do to make sure I protect myself, at all costs, and that's how I was raised. But now I'm 34 years old. I'm taking care of myself. Nobody else is determined. Like, I can manage my own safety, how I provide for myself, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's such a specific age too, and you're not 34. That's something.
Yeah. It's just a mid-range age, but at that time, I think that's a good time to reassess. Like, and you probably even before that. Like, all right, so previously, I treated people in this way and kept them at a distance because I knew I could protect myself that way. But now I'm recognizing that, like, I kind of enjoy when I let people a little bit closer. Like, every time I give somebody a little bit more room, I find joy and I find peace in that for these certain groups of people at this certain time, right? And then you start reassessing, like, dang, I really enjoy this. I can kind of pull back off of, I don't trust nobody. I feed everybody with a long handle spoon. I don't trust, you know what I'm saying? You can kind of get out of that space.
Find new things that you enjoy. That's the time to check to see if your boundaries are supporting that new thing you.
Yes, correct. That's my opinion.
No, I don't disagree, I guess. How would you know if you need to establish better boundaries? How are you doing a quality check?
Oof, quality check. That's
what
buzzword.
Checking your boundaries. How are you knowing that your boundaries are either working, not working, being received well, so you're not coming across in a toxic way with people you love? How can you quality check your specific boundaries, or people in general, however you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I think as far as like how they're being received, I think that's if people really like respond to them well. Like, if people are like, I still want to be around you and respect your boundaries, and they still show up for you, then I think that's a healthy space. When you start realizing, like, everybody I come in contact with, when I set this boundary, they end up like falling away from my life, and they like, oh, I can't support something like that down on the line with me. It may not be received in the way that you think it's being received. And as far as like, if knowing you have good boundaries set, I think that's all about how it works for you. So if you find that I still find myself super drained after I lower this boundary, or after I kind of pull back on this barrier, I still find that it's me that's suffering, then maybe that boundary ain't really working for you. and you need to like figure out if it's a different boundary you need to set or a further boundary or whatever you need to do. You need to make sure that like I'm okay. I got to be okay up here and in my heart, and I got to feel good about my day to day. When you start feeling bad about your day to day, most likely your boundaries ain't set right.
I agree. Or your priorities.
Your priorities, either way.
Priorities.
Yeah, for sure.
Too. I agree.
What about you? What, like, how do you feel like you set good boundaries for yourself, and you know, like, oh, I need to probably put up one or whatever?
I think it depends because we haven't talked about the different types of boundaries.
Yeah.
I think from what I looked up, they're like 7, but it's also, I think those 7 can be broken down into 3 instead of 7. Mm-hmm. The 3 root boundary categories in me is physical, emotional, and sexual.
Yep.
I would put everything into those, but the types that I've seen, like from a short Google, is physical, sexual, emotional or mental, spiritual or religious, financial and material, time, and non-negotiable. Which
it's
again,
non-negotiable can kind of
I would break those down into
yeah.
just 3. So to me, it depends on the type of boundary it is. Because the question you asked me is, how do I know?
Yeah, when you define accurate boundaries for yourself.
I think it's when I relate it to my goals, and I always work backwards. I try to keep stuff very simple. I maybe I'm smart, maybe I'm not. I like simple things. KISS has stuck with me for a long time from math. Everybody knows KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Whatever my goal is to spend more time with my family. My goal is to spend more time playing basketball. My goal is to not be bothered or not bothered. My goal is not to communicate with anyone while I'm working out. That's my boundary. So maybe my boundary is while I'm working out, my phone is on silent. Or while I'm working out, I either put my phone aside, I leave my phone in the car. Whatever. And how you know it's working to me is now that you know, really having that goal defined of what you want to do, like defining what that feeling of inner peace is for you. Like you said, if my goal is it needs to align with my inner peace, it's trial and error. So it's, hey, I don't want to talk to people because that brings me peace. Okay, I'm not talking to people, or people are still able to get to me. Maybe I'm on Instagram and I'm DMing people, or I'm losing focus in the gym. Okay, that's not working because I'm still not where I want to be internally and physically while I'm doing the task. These things are happening. So you got to really be mindful of yourself, and that's why I keep going. All of this stuff kind of builds together. So I'm glad we even went in that order of last month talking about mindfulness to boundaries and stuff, because I really think you need the awareness and the mindfulness to really make sure your boundaries are good for you and working for your goals and stuff. So that's how I do it. I break it down. It's very simple, but it's a lot of analysis, and it keep diving more into the simpleness of it. Keep it simple. Am I getting what I expect to get? No. What do I need to change and try again? Till it's consistent. Till my formula gets consistent. Like you like cooking.
I like what?
Cooking. You like cooking, you know. All right, it was a little too whatever. Soft in the middle this time. I need to
do something different. Yeah, I agree with that.
Staying on boundaries. How do you make people aware when you have boundaries, or do you make them aware?
I'm not good at it. No. I'm being honest.
Okay, well, why are you not good at that? Why do you struggle with that? She was like, "Where the fuck did this come from?"
Book. No. Ultimately, I think I struggle with it because there's a little bit of like, if I dare I say, people pleasing. In the sense of, I want everybody around me to feel good with me, and so sometimes I feel like if I set a boundary, I'm gonna feel good, but they not gonna feel good with me, and I don't want to. I really try to keep this space where people feel welcome and want to be around me, and you really enjoy not even being around me, but being around who you are authentically. So you can come in and what's Tracy Ellis Ross say, like you really enjoy being around yourself. So I want to create that space for people. That's one of what I feel like one of my purposes in life is. And so sometimes I feel like if I set a boundary, I'm turning that space away for certain people. And so that kind of messes with me a little bit, like, you're supposed to be this person that allows people that space. or you not supposed to be. You want to be this person, and is that boundary interfering with you allowing that space for people? But it's at the sacrifice of me. So I have to recognize that if my cup is not full, how can I even help you? So that's something that I constantly work on. Have to kind of retrain my brain and my awareness to constantly like, hey,
right, you
gotta fill your cup.
You don't have unlimited mental, emotional space to give away to people.
Yeah, agreed.
And yeah, you need to focus on that. Finish that statement out of I want to give to people so that they can have that space to be themselves when available.
Yes.
When available, like if something needs to be
not
like
at the expense of me.
Not at the expense of me.
Yeah.
Like something just has to go.
And my peace and my energy and
just a little something at the end, and I think okay, cool.
I would ask the question similar to you. What do you find it hard to set boundaries with a certain group of people or certain times? Or you pretty good at the boundary setting and you feel like those are mostly coming across how you want to?
I can't say whether I'm good or bad, honestly, because I don't have too many boundaries per se. I don't have a lot of people in my life close enough that I would need to enforce a boundary per se just yet. In my opinion.
When you say close enough, what do you mean by that?
I don't have anyone who I deem close friend, close family member, some people that I can be vulnerable with that are doing something that I deem I need to set a boundary on.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. A spoken boundary. I think I think we all kind of have like, and we talk about this often. So you you are attracting people around you who are similar to you. So most of the time, I think you attract people that have similar boundaries to you.
Yeah,
as you. So they don't want to cross. They wouldn't want you to cross that boundary for them. So they don't cross that boundary for you. So you don't even gotta say that. Like we know we don't do this kind of shit.
Considerate. I am around a lot of considerate
there you
people.
Go.
A lot of people I'm close to are very considerate.
Yeah.
I don't really hang around people who are inconsiderate, so I'm not very challenged a lot where I need to enforce a boundary to say person. It would come from work or something before it would come inside of my personal life per se. Cause let me think. So at work, somebody maybe could be coming in my queue too much, or maybe I got a boss that's a micromanager. Those are types of boundaries that might pop up more often. Those boundaries, I feel very comfortable in trying to. I treat it, again, call it childlike if you want to. It's not childish. I treat it like a game. I need to figure out a way to get my objective done. I'm using an example now. I got a micromanager as a boss. I don't, but if I do in a situation, I probably have done this. They want to check on me every day and ask me about this report or something. The same report, it's annoying me. It's making me disturbed. So now in my head, how can I make it so that they trust my work? They don't keep coming to see me every day. What can I do? Is there a tool I can make? Is there a conversation I can have with them? Is there a person? What can I do that would work best for me to get them off in seamless? So I look into options. I try and understand that person. Maybe in a one-on-one. Hey, boss, I noticed that every day you kind of want to check. What is it that you're like looking for so I can make sure this report is really good for you? Like, what is it that you really... Oh, I really just want to know the start time and end time of this. Boom. What if I had an automated link that you could click and it just shows it right there and it automatically emails it to you every day? Oh my God, that would be perfect. I wouldn't have to walk over there. Okay, cool.
He's perfected getting in between a man and his money. Like, what is your problem and how can I find a solution?
I apply the same kind of theory and techniques to like if you want to get there for real, we're talking about sex. I mean,
what can I do?
What am I not doing that I can tweak or whatever emotionally? How would my company cross? I apply it to everything. So I treat boundaries the same way. And I don't think of it as a finish line because I'm going to keep changing, keep getting older, keep being in new environments. So I'm not thinking this is one of those things where, again, we taking the goals and things. This is a goal or a habit that has no endpoint. This is something I will have to do for the rest of my life. Cleaning my room, fixing my bed, going to get groceries, setting habits, making boundaries. It's just gonna be a
part of your life.
A part of my life.
Yeah,
is
it's
what
part
I
of your
do.
life. And things change. And
Things
so
change.
make sure
I'm
you
not
assessing
stuck on
those, doing quality checks on
Get
those.
your quality checks right.
We got some good stuff coming up on boundaries this month. We're gonna definitely read a book, so I think that joint's
We got a book coming, yeah.
fire.
It's gonna be
Nedra. Can't wait to read that and dive into that. So it's some really good stuff. I think this is a hot topic, boundaries, and
very buzzwordy.
Buzzwordy for sure. And we're not talking about it just because of that, but ultimately we feel like it's important for everybody. And it's something that they don't necessarily teach you how to do when you're young. At least my parents didn't teach me how to do that.
I'm very excited to read this book.
Yeah.
I think the book review will be good to see kind of how we feel now about boundaries to what we learned from reading the book and how we talk about it again.
Yeah.
I would love to see that difference. Yeah, you got any last words on boundaries? Exciting month for July.
Yeah.
We got, a lot of stuff. We're going to be trying a lot of different stuff over here, so be on the lookout for that. And this has been another Zen Trap Chat. I'm one of your two hosts, Zen P.
Yogi LG.
We're talking about boundaries, and that's what we all about. As you know, with our ending slogan, if you can't do nothing else,
Protect your peace.
protect your energy.
It's the Zen Trap.
We out.
Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.